Man, oh man, T-Rich Thursday.
T-Rich Thursday, we finally here, baby. How you feeling?
Man, I'm trying to get like y'all, man. That's it.
Shit. Hey, you looking good now. Shit, the backdrop, you got the mic. What's cracking?
Man, you know what, man? I couldn't even get my mic hooked up, man. I got the headphones in today, man. I couldn't get my mic hooked up, man. So
it sound good though. The quality sound good. You know what I mean? The background look good. So
but I call them the trusted dusters. My kids laughing because they wired. So my trusted dusters right here, man. So they always make it through, man.
Hey, is there a volume? Can you turn it up a little or no?
Yes, sir.
The trusty dusties, man. I love the nickname. With the Ghostbusters tee. Come on now. T-Rich coming on swaggy on the first Thursday, y'all.
Now.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yep.
All right.
We good. What up, dog? It's NFL Thursday kickoff. That's why T-Rich is on here. And well, that's not why he's on here, but shit, he gonna have some real insightful shit. You can see the ticker below. Make sure you follow him on IG. Trent, we got the Lions and the Chiefs tonight, Thursday night kickoff. I just hope my Amazon Prime doesn't buffer and I can watch the game because I can't stand the streaming Thursdays, man. I wish it was on regular ass TV. But it's crazy, man. That man right there, Tony Franklin, Coach Jared Goff, he's gonna go tonight against Mahomes. Is Kelsey gonna play tonight? And if he doesn't, does Mahomes have a shot in your opinion?
I first Thursday night, man, to jump it off, man. You love Thursday night football, especially to be the first one to be on live this year. I mean, they put the top two teams on Thursday night football for the first time every time, right?
Yeah.
And so from what Detroit has been doing, making moves and stuff, we sense that they're going to be a top-notch team this year. But it's tough to tell until everybody get on the field and the coaches, get in situations and the players get in situations, see how they're going to react with each other when you talking about a unit. So you never really know, but I think Detroit is going to be pretty good. On paper, they look real good.
Right. No, for sure. And they've been flowing and getting better. It feels like year in, year out, a lot of talent as well. But I still feel like most of the media, most of the world feels like the Chiefs is going to win this game. From your standpoint, what do the Lions need to do in order to win this game? Like if the Lions, let's say we fast forward to midnight tonight and we look back and the Lions beat the Chiefs game one. What just happened? What did they do to beat the Chiefs?
They made the Chiefs try to beat them running.
Okay.
Because if you get in a 7-on-7 battle with them, it's no way that you're going to win.
Right.
And I say that because if you look at the way that Kansas City offense is set up, it's kind of like you got those little guys that can move. They don't really have the biggest names, but they're making names for themselves. It's kind of like a 2.0 of the Patriots offense when they had the Wes Walkers. They had the
Julian
Edelmans and those smaller guys that can move that's going to make you look foolish, and you can play them on any down. And then they got a couple guys that can go over top too. So I mean, when you got guys like that, when you got a quarterback that can move around like the Patrick Mahomes, and he can throw it any type of way, if you let Patrick Mahomes beat you, you're done. You got to keep it out of his hands. One thing I liked about playing against Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, if the ball is not in their hands and they're on the sideline, you can see them getting frustrated. They cussing the whole team out. And so you got guys like that, man, who's passionate, who want to win, who want to be on the field at all time. The best way to beat them is to take their ass off the field, period.
Nah, that's real, man. And the way you take them off the field is by controlling the clock and running the damn ball. And the Lions, with their first round pick, actually got another Bama alum, Jahmyr Gibbs. Some people were a little like, questionable on like why'd you pick him with the first round pick. Some guys love the pick. What's your take on Jahmyr Gibbs? Like, how great can he be? People were comparing him to Chris Johnson with that crazy speed. But what's your take, running back to running back?
I think he's another Alvin Kamara. When you look at how he's built, his speed, and the way he kind of plays, kind of like the new version of the 7-on-7, running backs. And what I mean by that, no disrespect to him, but You give it to him out the backfield, you know, you put him in space with a linebacker, he gonna make a miss and he gonna get past him. Now I wouldn't put him down there to pound the ball every play. But I think the NFL definitely have went away from, you know, pounding the ball all the time. But if you put him in a situation in shotgun, I think he's gonna be unbelievable for this league here.
I love that.
Hey, the Lions are gonna be a problem tonight. I know they don't have a couple guys for gambling and all that crazy shit, but if the Chiefs don't have a few of their guys, and I don't know if Tony's even healthy, one of their, you know, their wideout, like you don't have Travis. And let me ask you this before I even say that: who gives a shit about game one? Do you even play Kelsey? Like, we're worried about 17 more games? Like, do you even worry about playing them against the Lions day one? Like, would you?
Well, first of all, man, when you think about this game, you know, we look at no team lightly, but like you just said, it's the Lions. I mean, history-wise, like I wouldn't even risk. Yeah, I wouldn't risk Kelsey of getting him hurt even more. They say he'll stand at his knee, whatever happened. I ain't really got to read all the story to it. But if he's hurting, why would I risk? That's my prize possession. Like, why would I risk that? I wouldn't let him play for the first 2 games. Like, let's get him healthy.
Now, real quick though, T. Rich and JB, I agree with y'all, but being devil's advocate, think about how competitive the AFC is supposed to be this year. You got the Chiefs, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Ravens. I know I'm missing somebody right now off the top of the head because I just can't think, but there's so many like really good to potentially great teams on the AFC side that starting off the season, you know, I don't know, 2-2 or you know, 1-3 even could put you in a bad spot when it comes to, you know, getting that bye week and being the number 1 seed, or, you know, getting that home field advantage, or shoot, even potentially becoming a wild card team. You know what I'm saying? So like we're thinking about the bigger picture. I mean, I feel like that could play a role in the Chiefs being like, man, like we can't play too many games without Kelsey. Because think about it. We've seen Mahomes without Tyreek Hill. We've never seen Mahomes without Kelsey. And now he ain't got neither one of them. I know he's great. I know Andy Reid is amazing. I have to assume that Andy Reid has thought about this day before and thought about life without Travis Kelsey and how he would adjust. Like I have to, I put my money on that. But we haven't seen it yet. So I don't know, man. Like, you don't want to start a season off too rocky and then end up trying to fight for a wild card spot.
Well, I had to see who was behind Travis Kelsey too, right? And because a lot of running backs or a lot of, you know, guys that plays behind the one guys is just as good, if not better, than the 2 guys. They might got a little bit more spice to them. You know
what you saying right now? What you saying, T. Rich?
I'm just saying, you know, they got to keep the chamber reloaded. You know what I'm saying? They got to, bro. And if they don't, because you got to have one guy in there can do something that the other guy can't. You know what I'm saying? Because that number 1 guy probably can do it all, but that number 2 guy gonna fight like hell to say that, you know, I'm trying to do it all. I'm going to do it all. I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna work my ass off no matter what. So, but I think him playing without Travis, I don't think it'd be a big loss. I think it's a loss with, you know, you can't replace him. But tonight game or the next 2 games, I wouldn't risk it, because at the end of the day, the biggest picture is to make sure this guy, this millionaire, this what I think he might be 100 million or, you know, whatever, something close to it. I wouldn't risk that. And if he get hurt, right, he get really hurt. Right. Now whose job is that?
Yeah.
And you know what? Tonight's game, like, I would say if the Chiefs were playing the damn Bills or something, but it's an NFC team. I mean, the odds of them not being a tiebreaker situation is not going to be real high. It's an NFC team that I wouldn't be really tripping on the Kelsey thing as far as playing them. If it was like the Jets or something, I'm playing Kelsey if he could, and it's more of a scenario to me as a coach. But tonight, I don't know if it's that serious. Like, I know there's a lot of guys that are out right now, which blow my mind, T. Rich. Like, we had a week off because of the whole new preseason. So basically had a week off before the season, where it used to go right up to the damn season. And we still got more injuries than ever. And we got guys dropping like flies with hamstrings still, soft tissue. We had a doctor on yesterday, and I'm like, damn, he's kind of mentioned there is a thing with the turf. You think the turf is a real deal issue?
Man, that's been going on for years, man. You look
That's
at
what I said.
what was the Astrodome when they had the Oilers down there?
Hell yeah.
Man, that took so many people ACLs, man. But it's hard when you're playing on turf because you don't know what's real and what's not real underneath. You don't know what's really underneath that surface. I mean, bro, we used to play in some places and it used to be nothing but cement underneath there, like with just carpet as turf on
Putting
the
green.
top
Remember
of it.
putting green, the old putting green shit?
Man, yeah, like that stuff tough, man. And it's bad on them knees, bro. And like for guys who get hit in the knees all the time and who guys gotta plant and push off real hard, like if it's nothing, them that mold or that cleat can, latch on to, man, that's all your power in some cement or, on some carpet. Like that's tough, bro.
There's no doubt about it. I gotta get your take. Smitty gotta get, Smitty and I gotta get our take. Ethan, clip this one. This is the time. I want to ask a running back because we had you on last time before you started to back up with this new season, but we had you on before we went dark for a few weeks, and we were talking about the running back, the marketplace. They're really undervalued or underpaid. Not as important as other positions. Last night, Nick Bosa signed the largest contract ever as far as a non-quarterback. $170 million, $122 million guaranteed. What do you think about that as far as like a running back? And we're looking at these running backs like Jonathan Taylor that's sitting around not playing right now. And he's like, well, what's going on? Do you look at it as a slight? I see it on you. Like, is it a slight that this cat's getting the bag, but a running back's not? Or is Bosa really that important?
Listen. I never count another man's pocket, man. I'm proud of you, young fella. Get your money, big dog. Get your money. But it's a slap in the face when it comes to the running backs. Has that young fella done more than Derrick Henry? Has he done more than Alvin Kamara? Have he done more than Jonathan Taylor far as putting the ball in the end zone and putting the fans in the stands? Barkley, and to come back like he did Saquon, like because they was gonna write Saquon off,
Yeah.
But you think about that, right? Or even the situation with Le'Veon Bell, like even when you look at that, like I feel like he shouldn't have left Pittsburgh, but like get that man his money. Like I'm not saying that they wasn't gonna give his money, but I don't know what that situation was. But just like Zeke Elliott, like come on, like how did Dallas not call him back, or how do Dallas not let this man take a pay cut to be there? You get what I'm saying? Like for the running backs, bro, it's tough out there, man. Like we
There
get
ain't
no
no
respect.
loyalty.
Nah, hell no. It's the NFL.
There ain't no loyalty among Steves. You know that.
And if you ain't no quarterback, like you have no say so in that fight. So I'm proud of the young man for getting his money. Whoever his agent is, he probably with CAA, of course. But whoever his agent is, he working. And he, I guess they got they friendship or whatever, they agentship, whatever they call it. But man, people need to pay attention, man, what's going on. It's gonna be a lot of guys going to these to linemen and defense ends and stuff nowadays, man. You look at these guys getting this money.
Hell yeah.
If you ain't a top tier receiver or that quarterback, you're not getting that type of money, man.
So you think, and Smitty, you could chime in on this too. You think that there's going to be more guys that are, let's say 6'4", 3 techniques that are 290, 300 going to slim down to 275 and go on that edge. See what I'm saying? I think so too.
As they should, man. As they should. As the lone defensive player on this show, I gotta defend my lineman. And in a quarterback-driven lead, as we all know, this is to me the second most, or maybe the third most behind left tackle, important position is a pass rusher. And Nick Bosa is the top tier pass rusher in the league. The man won Defensive Player of the Year last year, 18.5 sacks. The year before that, got 15.5 sacks. Like, this guy has consistently been unstoppable on the field. And I'm telling you, from a defensive standpoint, he changes the entire complexity of the 49ers team. Like, he literally wins games because of how great he is. So, to me, he's earned every bit of that. But I do also understand from a running back's perspective how you could be looking at every other position group get paid good money. Tight ends getting paid good. Obviously, linemen on D-line and O-line. receivers getting paid. Like literally every other position group is getting paid good money with what they feel like they deserve. But the running back is the only position that's kind of like, man, like we left out. Everybody else is getting paid, and we just left out. You know, it's kind of like me when I was in high school getting recruited. I was a late bloomer. All my teammates was getting offers and scholarships and coming in, Cincinnati and SEC teams coming in and VT, and I'm over here working my ass off. And only thing I keep hearing is if he was 2 inches taller, he would get the offer. And I'm sitting there like, well, damn, coach. I mean, I'm making plays. Watch the tape. I thought the running backs is in the league like, damn, coach, I'm winning games. I'm making plays. Where's my money? And they're not getting it. So I feel it.
And let me ask you this, T-Rich. Is there the reason I brought this up and the segue to it is to ask you and Smitty this because I kind of was like, oh, I think this cat might struggle this year. It's a different ball game with your hand in the dirt. But Steve Kim and I were talking earlier. Is this why Micah Parsons went from inside or outside to the end and get that big bag? Because he might be the next $200 million cat if he rips this shit this year. So there might be some strategy involved here in the next few years as far as cats moving up that are tweeners.
Oh, you think about the way he played. Who gonna stop him at the end? Like I had my defense in college, bro, was so serious, man. I used to I'd be in the backfield, camp time, bro. You got these contracts with these guys, like, hey, come on now. Hey. So my DN was Courtney Upshaw. You had Dante Hightower behind him. You had Rolando McClain in the middle. You had Terrence Cody at nose guard. You had Marcel Darius behind him. Like, so that was mine. And so we'd be at camp. Hey, all right now, guys. All right, it's gonna be a long camp for you. All right, y'all know what we got. But when you look at guys like Parson, like, bro, like that's a win. Like that's smart on his. I mean, you think about the Robert Mathis in the world. Robert Mathis is one of the biggest person in the world, but he know how to beat that he know how to get around that edge. Like that was him. He had over 100 something sacks.
But can you think he can handle? Because if I'm coordinating against him, do you think he can handle? I'm gonna put a damn tight end over there. I'm gonna chip him with a Trent Richardson's big ass. I'm gonna float a tight end across the formation late, thinking he's free, and then wham his ass. Like I'm gonna do a lot of shit to scheme him at DN. Whereas if he was playing hybrid or backer, there's not much you could do to him in space. So I'm curious to see that dynamic is from a coaching perspective. I'm just curious to see. I know he's a freak. I'm curious to see if he gets an extra set of hands on him. Is he gonna get frustrated because he's not disruptive? And now he's like, oh, fuck this. I want to get into action. I want to get drop. I want to drop.
They started doing that a little bit last year. I do agree that this year they'll probably do that a lot more for sure. But the problem is the Cowboys specifically, I know it's on the Cowboys discussion, but the Cowboys roster is down there loaded. And they got a lot of good talent, even on that defensive line. You got DeMarcus Lawrence on the opposite end. So you can't really necessarily full slide protection to Michael Parsons, and you're going to leave DeMarcus Lawrence one-on-one. So now you're kind of picking and choosing your battles. You know what I mean? That's what made my Indianapolis coach so great, and I'm glad T-Rich brought it up. I got Robert Mathis over here, Dwight Freeney over here. Make a choice.
Used to be. Say used to be, motherfucker.
Okay, hey, we got that ring though, and you see I'm rocking my coach jersey today. We got that ring, we got that bling bling. That's all that matters. Nap Town, we did it, baby. 317. Let's get it. AR5 is here.
Hey, T-Rich, I gotta get your take, man. We gotta get your take here on the prime time Deion Sanders. So I've been going on shows. I've been, we've heard it all, right? And I've actually been on his side. I'm good with him. My best friend in the world's on his staff. So there's a lot of, both sides to the party. And as a coach, this is his first Division I head coaching gig. And I know he's coached the HBCU, which was his first real college gig. Before that, he was doing a little bit of charter school shit in Dallas, different thing. And I used to be around him there. I'm trying to figure out, where you stand at it. Are you with them? Fuck it, flex on him, drop your nuts and let everyone know? Or are you with hey, listen, dog, this is your first D1 job now. Let's pump our brakes until we know we're really, really great at this. Because I always was taught, T-Rich, when you're good at something, you tell everybody. When you're great, they tell you. I'm I just want to see him hold on, dog. We get it. TCU is definitely not the team they were last year, and that's why I said they would probably be a 3 or 4 win team this year. And I picked Colorado to win that game 6 months ago on this show. Are you like, fuck it, let your nuts hang, Dion? Because to me, he can't go back. This is all in. He's got both feet in. He has to do it, and he's doing it his way. And I was on Whitlock's show yesterday, and he was asking me like, well, I know damn well that these kids are probably going around. I go, no, you're wrong. I said, my best friend's on the staff. Cats are walking on eggshells around there, but still trust him to know he's getting him to where you could not get yourself. So, like, he's getting these kids to where they couldn't get themselves, but they also know he will cut my ass if I fuck around and fart in the wind and he smells it. So, like, he asked me, he goes, do you think they can sustain bringing in 60 new kids a year? And I go, that's what he's going to do. This is going to be NFL college at Colorado with Prime, because he's going to go through and say, oh, you did this? Okay, we'll bring a new guy in. I'm curious right now, T-Rich, on this Prime thing. So far, so good, knock on wood. He has a lot. I have a lot of him. He's older than me, so I'm going to say I have a lot of Prime in me. I'm going to pay him the homage for that, saying that, because he's older. He's 10 years older. I never had a kid arrested or thrown out of a 4-year when they left me. So far, he hasn't either. I'm curious if you think the coach me hard, love me harder scenario is going to work and continue to work at the 4-year level like he's doing, and if that's going to bury the rest of these coaches, such as your own Nick Saban. Is he worried about a Prime getting the best kids in America to buy into a cat like us, an inner city cat that can relate to these cats? And you play for Nick. He can relate to, that whole thing. He's going to do his thing. He ain't laying down. I know you got a take on this, but it's interesting to get your take and kind of the two sides of the fence here on this.
Well,
I know I said a lot of shit.
Yeah, nah, you good, because I see both sides of it just like you. Like, hey, one part of me want to be like, hey, man, have fun, enjoy yourself. All right, that's what you're doing, because you can't turn back now. Like, you showing them Prime, you got to be Prime.
Yeah.
Just know with Prime, what it comes with. I mean, this is not an HBCU where you can win, your first game and think that's going to be the rest of the season, and so, and like I tell people too, man, and it's not hating on, what Colorado did. I love what they did. I think that TCU has always been a 45 give up defense, 45 points, for years. TCU has never had a great defense.
They had one with Gary Patterson. They had a decent one year.
Yeah. But that's not taking nothing from TCU, but we haven't known TCU to be a defensive team. We've known them to put up points and to get all credit with their plays and stuff, right? We have known that for years. And so with that, you still got to run around these USCs, and you still got to run some of these guys that
Oregon, they got some battles this year.
Yeah, like you got to think about it. Like everybody's going to play you like you Prime now. Like you got a target on your back. Not saying that you're not ready for it, not saying that you can't be prepared for it, but at the same time, I ain't talking about just you. We're talking about your players too. Like, some of them guys who's never won in a big game like that, or who will get satisfied like that, because it's an entitlement phase, right? We get the, the YouTubers, and we get we get all the other, guys that's TikToking and all this other stuff. And so they selling tickets, and they, everything that went up, all this other stuff, which is cool. But once you go to losing, or if you lose, ain't nobody gonna be on that band no more. I don't want to happen with Dion. Like, I want him to be successful. I want the whole program to be successful, but I want them to understand how to win. And I'm pretty sure Coach Prime's showing them that, right? But it's a process to all of it, because that's what. How many weeks is it in college football now? 12?
Probably with bye weeks and etc.
Yeah, like that's a long season, man. Then he got to get him ready for the next level too. So man,
you go far. You guys used to go every damn year, so you had all that time off between Christmas and the Natty, right? So you got weeks down that you're having to be accountable, professional when you're not around Saban and the crew, because you're Christmas, Thanksgiving, you're in the Natty, and now you got a few weeks off, and he's not, now you got to go back and start practicing. So it's a lot. What do you guys played 15, 16 week season?
Yeah, and it was crazy because right after the national championship, we was 2 weeks later, we was getting ready for spring training. So we had a break in between, but we didn't have that break that everybody else got, like when I got ready for the combine, like everybody been training for a month before. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get the, you know, the pleasure and the luxury of, you know, just focusing on this for a whole month and, you know, working on numbers and stuff like that as far as, you know, combine training.
Hey, it's crazy you said that because Sark told me when he was OC for Saban there a couple years ago, he said that it's crazy because Saban goes right after the season. He go right into spring ball and get it knocked out. So the rest of the year, he can figure out who he really has, recruit some other guys, different shit. So he goes early spring ball to where a lot of guys don't go till March, April, May. You guys are right there in February. So it's like, shit, you guys go early.
We going at it, bro. And you know, just to see that, man, I want that cat to be successful, bro. And I think that Nick knows what the power is behind Deion. If, you know, everybody get on that bandwagon and say, I want my son to go out there with Prime and all this other stuff. And, you know, he's selling a story to where, shoot, if he can do this, bro, he done shook up the college world. If he go out here and win this thing in 1 or 2 years, I know I done seen Nick, you know, get in there and what, three years after he came back from the NFL. I think it was 2 years after, you know, it was 2 years after he got, you know, he came from the NFL. He was in the SEC championship, and then the next year he was in national. But I've only seen Nick really do that. I've never seen nobody else do that. Like, I mean, quote me if I'm wrong, I ain't never seen nobody take that fast of a jump that quick. You know, with a different program, especially coming from HBCU, just coming from a coaching charter school, for high school, you know, academy, whatever it was.
Right.
Then you jumped into HBCU. I think you was there for 2 or 3 years. Then you jump out and win your first game. You got some of the biggest guys coming out. You got some of everybody. You got millions of guys watching the game. I mean, so it's really, if he pull this off, bro, it's gonna be the new wave and it's gonna shake up a lot of stuff. I ain't saying Nick worried, but I definitely think Nick know what he got on, because I tell people this all the time. Who fumbled the bag with Deion? And I'm pretty sure that Nick was probably telling him, hey, go ahead and go out to Colorado. We ain't having that. UAB. If UAB had Prime in Birmingham, man, you got Prime right here in Birmingham. You got Nick in Tuscaloosa 40 minutes away. Then you got Auburn another 40 minutes away the other side. Then you got Tuskegee. You got, man, listen, shit. You got Atlanta an hour and a half away. Like all of that.
That's Coach Prime backyard right there.
Yeah, man, like all those kids, like he can, you know, really get. But if he pull this off in Colorado, man, it's gonna be crazy.
Hey, and I got, before you get out of here, I wanted to bring Matt in, played in the league for 7 years, and he's right there with Prime in the backyard of Colorado. I want to ask you both this question when I get him in here. Like, I was on Whitlock yesterday, and I said, listen, he can literally put Matt Rule, Luke Fickell, and these other guys out of business, because he can literally just demoralize them in recruiting. Because I'm gonna bring Matt in right now. Like, if you think about it, if I were to walk into a home with Matt Rule, if Trent Richardson is sitting in a home and Matt Rule and Deion walk in, where the hell are you going?
Hey, I'm running behind Matt, man. Listen, I'm running behind Matt. What you mean? Back truck. I need you. What's going on, boss?
Are you wearing a fucking Colt jersey, Smitty?
Yes, I am. And I'm wearing it proud. NFL season is back. I'm a big Colts fan. We all know that 317 Naptown AR5 is going to shock the world.
Whose jersey do you have on? Who is it? Is it a Peyton jersey?
Nah, I ain't going to like this.
It's a Luck jersey.
It's the one I had. It's the one I had to play. About to throw it on.
Well, look. If Prime is in a waiting room, right? Like anybody that's seen Blue Chips, old school movie with Shaq and Penny Hardaway and Nick Nolte, like you walk into a coach's office and there's all the coaches lined up in chairs, right? And Prime walks in and he looks at the high school coach and goes, "What's up, dog?" And daps him and walks right into the office. That is what this is. I mean, I woke up this morning to Bryce Underwood, the #1 player in the country, who is now coming to Colorado week 5 against USC as the premier recruit. So, I mean, look, man, I was a 4-star. You know, Colorado was relevant when I went there and played back in the day, and then they fell on hard times. But just imagine, like, wasn't it Auburn that said they didn't want him to run social media and they didn't want all this? They didn't want all the hype. Like, I agree with Trent 100%, dog. If Deion was at Auburn, like, holy shit. Like if he was at UAB, holy shit.
That's what I'm saying. Don't even take an R because they're not ready for that.
They probably
put him in UAB. They got Trent Dolfer down there, but man, you got Dion over there in UAB, man. Come on.
Birmingham's a hotbed. And look, he's done it. It's not like you can't do it in Boulder. It's been done here many times, but not at the level of what he's doing. I mean,
let me ask you guys this though, as Matt and Trent.
Uh-oh.
Who the fuck is gonna fly over Boulder to go to Wisconsin to play for Matt or Luke Fickell in a cold ass weather from anywhere in the South? They're not passing up Dion and Boulder to go to even more further north and cold. If you're from Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida, and they're not going to Nebraska. You're not going to make that hard right and go to Nebraska over that. So Luke Fickell and Nat Rule have a really, really bad, serious problem right now. I'm trying to tell. I told Whitlock yesterday, Nick, everyone and I just asked Trent, Matt, Nick Saban's not worried, but I said he's not happy.
Two things can be true, right?
I think if Nick Saban were to retire, and Trent can probably speak to this better, I think the number one person they would go after is Prime.
Trent, you think they have a brother there, bro? You think they have
that's tough,
I don't
man.
know about that one.
I can't see that happening, man. That would be ideal. But especially for the culture, they're not ready for the culture. That ain't happening no time soon.
Fucking 1960 down there.
Yeah, bro. It's. I mean, they try to hide it, but it's not gonna happen. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, that's pretty stupid. So he should just stay in Boulder.
Is he going to be the transcending guy that gets folks to Hard Knocks and Netflix and everything that we've seen? I don't certain kids of mine didn't want to be on camera, right? They didn't sign the media release. There's been certain coaches, the Florida State did that thing. Some guys didn't want to be on the show. Jimbo didn't want to show a lot of shit. Dion is literally game planning Nebraska on the board on IG Live. He don't give a fuck.
Nope.
So, do you think it change the game? Is it going to change the game where cats are like, fuck, we got to film ourselves now?
I mean, you got to think about this, man. If it's on IG Live and these kids watching this, they already learning. It's all they already learning from Coach Prime going IG Live. Or these kids Shamar, he's Shador doing all that on IG Live. He really got something.
Company. They got a whole media company, and then that's the number one recruiting anyway. The kids are on Instagram or IG or on social media. He's killing you with social media. These guys better figure it out or get the fuck out and do something.
And you heard what Matt just said. I mean, the number one quarterback in 2025, I think, class.
Next year's class.
Yeah, it's going to be visiting. So, he's already, got the top players watching him. And it's been one game, y'all. One game.
Check this out. There's no secrets. You can't walk in the game. We don't have a secret play you're going to run, but there's no secrets.
Right.
I always get amused when coaches in high school or college or the league are like, oh, we don't share tape. And I'm like, you're so full of shit. That's the weakest thing I've ever heard in my life. We're definitely fucking you up. So there are no secrets, dog. And for them to just be so open with what they're doing, I love it because I'm a social media whore and it works for me. It works for him. It works for his kids. It works for Shador. It works for Travis Hunter, who is the best player in the world, not just college football. It works for Dylan Edwards. I mean, my thing is this old school way of recruiting where we've got to find the kid and kiss the parent's ass and talk about development. All that shit's dead. This is fucking business. If you have the right guy at the head coach position, you can walk in and Nick Saban says to a 5-star recruit, look at all the first rounders. You want to play here? No? Go somewhere else and we'll fuck you up.
Let me ask you this, Matt, you're involved in this heavy with the kids right now. We're training them, working them. You're up there at Colorado. My best friend is at Colorado, D. Hagan, of course. And I talked to him yesterday about this before I went on Whitlock. Do you think Dion and Prime, I call him Coach Sanders because he's coach now. Do you think he's going to open up a door, not for me particularly, but for JBs of the world that admin is scared of to hire? Is he opening? Because, Matt, I had a debate with Smitty yesterday, T. Rich, and dealing with your kid playing Youth Pop Warner, T. Rich has one of the best youth players in America. please explain to Big Smitty, and please don't take it the wrong way. Matt, you know this as well as I do. There's 1,000 primes out there that the world don't know about because we cannot get an opportunity because of administrators being scared to hire us. If you were to hire JB, fucking watch out. Put me in Vegas, homie. I'm just trying to tell you, there's other guys like us out here, but we've never had the shot. Is Prime opening that rabbit hole or wormhole for others to possibly get that shot? Because there's a lot of young brothers out there that are GAs that are getting passed by because of nepotism, because Coach Klingman at fucking K-State sends his son to Jimbo Fisher, and he just overpassed 16 brothers that have been GAing for 20 fucking years. It's like, there's guys out there that could do this, but will never get a shot. Do you think Prime's changing the whole game like Pat McAfee might be changing ESPN?
Yes. I think he's not only changing it, he's changed it. And look, man, the old school,
back up, fucker. Let's go coach somewhere then.
The old school way of doing things were like, I have to walk him on my resume and button up in a suit. Like, if that guy walks in and I'm hiring, I'm not hiring him. That's not what I'm looking for. Period. I'm not looking for a fucking businessman. I'm looking for a football player. I'm looking for a guy who knows what the fuck he's talking about, not a banker who wants to be a coach. So when you're dealing with all these, let's just be real, smug, rich, white motherfuckers that are running these colleges, and Dion walks in, he scares the shit out of them because they're smug, rich, white motherfuckers. I mean,
and so do I, by the way.
Well, so do you. Well, it doesn't look, there's a different, we're not talking about black and white here. We're talking about football guys and bankers. So,
well, we're also talking, you're right, Matt. You're also talking about a guy who holds a PhD and a president and an AD who looks down upon us.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Like, football guys are very accomplished. Guys that played in the NFL, Deion saying degrees. And I know dudes that have their masters and their doctorate, and they still get looked at like a football thug. Like, I walk into a room all tatted up and shit, 6'5", 320, and they're like, oh my God, he's so scary. I'm not going to cook and eat you, motherfucker. So I think that Coach Prime is opening up the door to real football guys being coaches rather than just being like a position coach on one team that's edgy, actually giving that guy an opportunity to be a head coach and see what he can do with kids that will relate to him. You know, like Coach Prime is so good on social media. It's almost like he's a 55-year-old man that is on the same level, like from a like a youth perspective as the guys he's coaching, but on a mental level like a great grandfather because he's got all the knowledge. So it's a perfect mix. They know they trust him. They know he's got their best interests in mind. He's gonna, whatever he says he's gonna do. And based on what I saw week one, I mean, the best part about the entire week was the day after the game. I work with Savion Washington, the right tackle, and he's on an NIL deal with the 6-0 body bags, and his promo code's Washington 78 if you want to help him out. But I was talking to him and I'm like, look, man, that was awesome. What a fucking opener. I can't believe you guys did this. And he goes, well, I can. And they chewed our ass out for the last 2 hours and told us it wasn't acceptable. And we got a rival coming in and we hate Nebraska and fuck these people. And it's very adamant. And yeah, we all thought we lost the game. And I was like, good. That's the way you're supposed to feel, dog. So I think that,
Nick Saban had the same face when you won and when you lost.
You said that Nick Saban had a saying what now?
He pretty much had the same face when he won and when he lost because he expected to win, right? He expects it. Like, I used to expect to win, and everyone was like, damn, you're not happy? I'm like, nah, I expected to win. And when we lose, I got to get back on the drawing board. And I think Prime's instilling that in Colorado, and he gets that from being around Nick and doing all those goddamn duck commercials.
Yeah, and I think their relationship is cool, man. Like he's learning a lot from Nick. Like, he's learning how to take that next step. And what I think, bro, is amazing about it, because Nick stays right here. And it's scary because I've taught my son that, because that's how I am with stuff now, right? And so we be at the game, TJ score a touchdown or he make a big hit. People like, you all right? He not celebrating. He ain't smiling. He trying to get to the next play. That's just how he is. And that's how, coach got us. Like, you ever listen to all the interviews that the players do from when Nick got there into, to now, everybody sound the same. Yeah. Like, it ain't too much people doing the swag. It ain't too much, you do have some guys out there doing that, but everybody usually just stay right there with it because that's ingrained in us as we get in that school. And I like how Prime is, doing this, with his format of it is like, hey, be you, have fun, but be presentable enough to where you doing the elevator the elevator commercial when it comes to them things. You're trying to sell yourself no matter what. Like, I need for you to win. You know, it's what he's trying to tell you. Like, it's so much money out here that we missing out on. I'm putting it right here in your face. I'm showing you the direct way. Dion had a platinum tape when he was in, you know what I mean? Like, must be the money. Like, he had a platinum.
Must be the money. But you know what? That's a good point, T-Ray, because like everything Dion has touched has turned gold or turned platinum. Like whether it's music, coaching, playing, MLB. Like I can't think of anything he's done where I said, "Oh, Coach Prime failed." That's why I think it's crazy to like really doubt him, because it's like, what information are you using? The only reason you're doubting him is just because you're looking at the last few years of Colorado and you're using that to cloud your judgment.
That's the only reason. Period. Yeah. Like, look, I remember when he got hired. I was one of the first guys he met with up in the old Dow War, the Champion Center. And I was on the show the next day, I think, right, Schmidt? Right, JB, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And I, like, the amount of grief I took over saying this is going to work, they're going to go to a ball game, they're going to win maybe 8 games. Shador's a fucking pro. Travis Hunter's a great player. They're stealing players from all over. They're getting rid of a bunch of guys who have been through 4 head coaches and like 6 offensive line coaches and 4 offensive coordinators in 5 years. You know, like a bunch of guys who watch coaches come in, put a system in, leave. Watch coaches come in, put a system in, COVID. Watch coaches come in, put a system in, get fired. So now you've got a guy in Boulder who knows the difference. And this is why I was so bullish. He convinced me within 10 minutes of talking to him. Like, I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, I'm sold completely. You don't need to tell me anymore. I'll make sure to only present you the 4- and 5-star kids we have in Colorado. Like, I understand now that there's a certain level of kid that can't play for you. And that's not the way it used to be at CU. They used to look at everybody, and now they're just looking at somebody. So I like it. I like that I was right. And I never would have gone against them probably, but it feels good to be right. And it feels good to have them ranked right now after 1 week. I mean, think about this, man. I'm going to say this again. Oh my God. I was the last senior captain on a CU's team that won a bowl game in 2004. So I held that stupid trophy like, hey, haha. And that's been 20 fucking years, and I'm 41 and old as shit. My back is killing me. So I think that the ability for him to change this in 8 months and one spring and one game is probably maybe the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think he's going to hop to a bigger school like so many people are projecting now. I think that Travis Hunter's got another year. I think Shador will come back. I think they're just going to be even better next year and a top 10 ranked team. Like, and then after that, when his kids are gone, maybe then he leaves and he can't. Peace.
T-Rich, before you get out of here, let's talk some SEC. I'm arguing on the West Coast as a West Coast guy. I think this year, for the first time in a while, the Pac-12 top to bottom is the best conference in America. And I know the SEC wins the Natties usually, but I argue that you judge a conference by how their bottom 4 teams are, not their top 4 teams. I don't know if the SEC this year bottom heavy as normal. You know, Florida looks bad. I don't know if Florida will win an SEC game this year. South Carolina got drubbed by North Carolina, and then LSU got drubbed in the second half by Florida State. Pac-12 is undefeated right now, but a lot of them haven't played many guys either. They played San Jose, Nevada. We played fucking Hawaii. So, I mean, Southern Utah. I get that too. So,
TCU.
What do you like about Alabama, seeing them? What do you think about the other parts of the SEC? Is Georgia and Alabama maybe a two-race horse this year? Or is there somebody else? Is A&M for real, or is Ole Miss possibly for real? They got a decent challenge in Tulane this week, after they put up 70 or whatever last week. Is the SEC going to be all right, or do you think they're falling off because of the transfer portal NIL deals that are happening across America?
Man, you know what? I didn't even think about the NIL stuff, but when you look at it, it's kind of always, to me, it's always kind of been the Florida and Georgias lately, but usually not the Florida and Georgia, but the Bama and the Georgias lately, the last few years since Kirby done been there. that's kind of being a two-headed monster with it.
Throw Clemson in there a couple of times, right?
Yeah, you throw Clemson in there a couple of times. But I'm talking about SEC play, like far as like the top two guys. But LSU was, when I was in school, LSU was one of the top guys. Auburn, at one point was, one of the top guys. But I think consistently, man, Bama and Georgia has always going to be up there. Long Kirby and Nick is there. Like, I don't think there's no stopping, what they're doing. But I definitely think all the way around, it's kind of hard, man, because week one, as a week one right now, SEC don't look like the strongest right now.
Right.
But we're talking about the SEC, the heavy hitters that they do got, and I don't take that lightly at all, because I'm telling you, man, that once upon a time when I was in that league, bro, like that league there was serious. Like I tell people all the time, if I would have had my line that I had at Bama, any one of the years I was at Bama, I could have ran the NFL with. Period.
Facts. Those are fucking facts, right? Hey, let me ask you a question real quick, Rich. You guys played Texas this weekend. Last year, an awesome hell of a game. I thought that the refs kind of fucked it up. I thought that was a safety, but it wasn't. They won, and Alabama got a dub. Now you get them in Tuscaloosa, and Texas and Oklahoma are both coming to the SEC. And my 2 cents to them is careful what you fucking wish for. So how do you feel that Texas and Oklahoma are going to do in a blue blood conference with a ton of tradition that has been doing things the same way for 100 years?
It's going to be crazy. I think at first I don't know, man. I could see Texas shaking stuff up in the beginning. But I think, when people kind of, see the formula that Nick Saban had for him, that does stop it, if it stops it, Texas is gonna get punched in the mouth. If they do something that they, do unusual to the Nick Saban era of it or the Georgia era of it, they're gonna be unstoppable.
How good is that Bama QB?
I think Jalen gonna be amazing, man. Like people don't realize how talented this young man is, bro. Like, I'm sold from his mindset. He asked me last year, and I had came back and spoke to the team. He was like, man, how can I be that guy, that voice? This is not my team. It's Bryce's team. How can I get people to respect me? For him saying that, and knowing that he's a military kid, he's trying to find his way. It was big to me for him to come up to me after that, like, because he was like, man, I know you've been in this situation before. Mark Ingram, you wasn't a starter, but you was still a guy that made a big impact. How can I do that? And I can't get on the field at all when it comes that time. I'm like, bro, when it comes your time, bro, just be ready. Like, you got to be ready. You got to be better than the guy in front of you. Like, you got.
You ain't ready. You ain't got to get ready.
Yeah, it's almost like you got to do something crazy. You got to be like the side dude. Really? You know what I'm saying? You think about it, you gotta be the side dude. Side dude, he ain't gotta pay the bills, he ain't gotta do all the other, take you out on a date. He just coming over for a couple hours or a couple 30 minutes or not, max, and he gone.
Put it on you and then cut out.
He gone. That's it.
That's 30 minutes. Shit, it might be 8 minutes.
It might be 5, depending on
Yeah, there ain't no foreplay. Ain't no foreplay. There ain't none of that. Man,
hey, T-Rich, park your car in the back. Make sure you got you ain't leave your chain, your watch on the cabinet.
Don't spray no cologne. Don't do nothing.
We gotta put that shit down the street so I can jump out the window and be gone.
Hey, man, T-Rich, man, it's T-Rich Thursdays, man. We're just getting a little glimpse of it this week. We got a highlight video for you, T-Rich, to intro you that'll be made next week. It's fire. Wait till you see it. I'll send it over to you. T-Rich spitting facts. We're going to get the SEC. We get the Pac-12. We get everybody in. Eric Weddle will be back on Monday. And we had a great guy on earlier, Coach Franklin, earlier today was spitting some facts. T-Rich got to spend a little time with him. Tony Franklin, legend. T-Rich, man, it's Thursday night. NFL's back. Appreciate you. And
who you got? Last thing. Who you picking tonight to win, T-Rich, before you go?
I never go against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So I don't care what you say.
All right, my brother. I respect
I'm
it.
just
We
scared
shall
the
see.
Lions are going to fucking lying.
Love it.
T-Rich, man, much love, brother. I appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all.